Hello, hello. I am so excited to talk about this week's topic. It feels really weird to be talking about it already because in Washington State, our kids are in school pretty late. So we still have another week and a half of school, if you could believe it. But I keep seeing posts and pictures of graduations, and people are starting to plan their summer trips, and we are in the thick of it. Summer is right there, right around the corner. So this is another edition of our family adventure ideas, but for the summer season. So before we get into all of the fun, specific ideas and resources that are out there, I wanted to kind of recall back to our spring adventure episode. We talked a little bit about having a conversation with your partner, working out any logistics that might cause you stress the day of, right? Like a budget or what needs to be packed or, setting aside a specific time to make that outing happen, right? Those are things that you can definitely plan ahead of time. It's okay to be spontaneous for sure, but if you're like me, I don't operate well that way. Plus, I feel like I'm sure just as a parent, there's a shift. It's hard to be as spontaneous, depending on the outing, depending on your children's age. So anything that would cause you stress the day of, maybe that's something to go over ahead of time. It could be as little or as much, information in that conversation as you're comfortable with, and that will make the outing a good experience for you as well, because it's for you too. It's not just for your kids. But yeah, I wanted to remind you guys too. If this sounds like you, know that you're not alone. Family outings are not easy. They're not easy. They do require a lot of time and effort. And I know as adults, for me, I have caught myself at times with this mindset of like a quality time cost analysis, right? Like, was this outing worth all the time and effort and money that I put into it, right? And that's not the greatest mindset to have going into something where you are trying to create a memory. You are trying to connect with your child. You are trying to allow them and yourself opportunities to experience and try new things together. So it's not a great mindset to have. So there's been times where I've had to physically shift gears, oh, that's not a good thing. You know what I mean? Like when you go to that place, it's easy to get stuck, and then you just are unhappy. You don't get as much out of the outing as you could. But it's hard not to go there, right? Things that trigger me, right, are the activities where you have to pack up half the house, right, to go, especially depending on what age your kids are, diaper bag, wipes, towels, change of clothes, snacks, water, bottles, you name it, it's in your car. It's in your bags. Budget, cost of things always is a stressor. Availability of things to do, and weather. I feel like those things, especially in the Pacific Northwest, have been factors for us. There's certain seasons and activities that are harder to make happen than others. And then there's also just, again, the age of your kids and their interests, of whether or not it lands or not. My 2 cents. Here's my take on it. Learn from your mistakes. Some activities aren't going to go to plan as well as others. And that's okay. You got to be willing to let that happen. Some kids are just not going to have the interest and the patience to do a museum, as much as they're going to want to go do a splash pad or, just things like that. It depends on the age. It depends on their interests, and just keep trying. Learn from those mistakes. You know, if you forgot sunscreen, well, make sure you put it like someplace where you won't forget it, or pack the night before. You know, just little things to lessen your load. The more that you do it, the more you make sure to make this time a priority for you and your family, the easier it gets. Because I know for me, especially as a young mom, when, you know, kids were still in diapers and stuff, it took physical effort to go out anywhere, let alone on an outing, something, you know, out of the ordinary. You know, I would have to go at specific times of day, or else it wouldn't happen. I'd have to write it down and plan it out, or it would not happen. I would have to ask for help, or it would not happen. Things like that. It gets easier. The more that you do it, it does get easier. Wanted to share a quote. This is by Hank Smith, and he says, "Parents, focus on having fun with your kids this week. Yes, our world is stressed and contentious, but your home, their world, doesn't have to be." And I love that. And I think that going a step further and doing things as a family outside of your home, again, really just offers those opportunities to create those memories. They're not going to remember how long it took for you to pack up the car or how much you stressed about the cost. They're going to remember going and doing something out of the ordinary. Keep it simple. Just make sure it happens. So, they're only this age once. They're only this age once. And I know that's a cliche thing to say. And while that's true, it's hard to remember and to truly feel that notion, especially during the school year, with all the places you have to be and the things you have to do. Summers can be really busy as well, but take advantage of the time that you do have. This is the time for really awesome memory making. Try to find a balance and flexibility while still trying to maintain a loose schedule. AKA make time for the important things, right? Teach your children habits, protocols, while also letting them pick some of the things that they want to do or learn within reason, right? So with that being said, here are a few ideas for summertime. Now, I love Pinterest too much when it comes to this kind of stuff. There are so many amazing, talented mamas that put their resources out on Pinterest. And thank goodness for all of you, because I would be lost without you. In particular, there is a at-home challenge. You probably just type that in on Pinterest. And it's just like a little bingo board of different at-home activities. So if you are having one of those odd summer storms, you know, there's something going on, you're stuck and you're not able to actually make an outing happen, right? But it's summertime, your kids are still home, you still have this extra time together. That is an awesome, like, desperation move. I have it hanging up on my door, and just so, like, if one of those days just happens to come upon us and we are like, okay, we're super bored, we're at a loss as to what to do today, you could pull from that list. But my absolute favorite thing for the summer, and we've done this 2 or 3 summers now, I want to say, is these themed days. Like, themed, each day of the week has a theme for the summer. And there's a few variations on this. Again, you could probably just look this up on Pinterest and a bunch of them will pop up. This is the kind of an idea of what it looks like. This is the one that we use. So Monday is Make It Monday. It's the day that we craft, sew, bake, cook, do something DIY, paint. Tuesday is Take a Trip Tuesday. So this is the day that we would do like a scavenger hunt, library, go to a park, visit a friend or a family member, maybe take a hike or a walk, go maybe to a museum, bowling, splash pad, playground, you name it. Wednesday is Water Wednesday. So that is the set aside day for swimming. Sometimes it happens more than just Wednesday, but there's always one day of the week that I would try to set aside. It's like as long as it's warm out, we're doing something water related. So it could be swimming, it could be the beach, lake, pond, water fight, sprinkler, squirt gun, slip and slide, water table, you name it. It can happen on Wednesday. Thursday is Thinking Thursday. That's the day where you kind of set aside some time to maybe do that summer learning. Maybe have them do some of those learning principles, worksheets, do quiet books, STEM projects, science experiments, that kind of thing. Friday is Foodie Friday. So this is where you could do like a lemonade stand, bake a new recipe, try a new restaurant, make popsicles or smoothies. Next is Spontaneous Saturday. So if your partner is, off of work, or you are off of work, you've got your weekend ahead of you, this could be the day that you go do something fun. Take your road trip, go camping, be a tourist in your own town or state, hike, boat, barbecue, anything like that. This also could be the day that you let your kids decide what they would like to do as a family. Last but not least, Selfless Sunday. Sunday is Selfless Sunday. This is where you could do something nice for a family member, help a neighbor, walk the dog, volunteer. I love there's an app called Just Serve that has lots of great opportunities by your area of service projects and things. So that's a good resource for that. But yeah, so there's that. A few additional ideas that I came up with was homemade ice cream, go fishing, pick berries. We talked a little bit about that last season, where there's lots of farms out there that will do you pick of different flowers or fruits and things in their different seasons. And berries are, where it's at for the summer. You could tie-dye shirts, do a backyard movie or a drive-in movie. They're free Slurpee Day. That's a classic. You could raise butterflies, make snow cones, s'mores, fly kites. A couple things that if you want to go a little bit more out of the box, we talked a little bit about this for spring as well. There's the Adventure Challenge book where you kind of scratch off a prompt and you have to go do that. And there's like a little spot where you can journal about it. And there's a little spot where you could do like a little Polaroid picture and stick it in there. So it kind of encapsulates all of your different family adventures, which I think is really cool that it's all built in. And then there is a new game. I haven't started it yet. I just actually bought it for my husband for his birthday, but I'm really excited to try it and let you know, report back to you guys. There is a couples version, and then there's also like a family version. It's called Served. So check it out. I happened upon it on Instagram because watching people's videos of them playing this game is hilarious. So basically you split the deck in half, and then you set the time frame. It could be a week. It could be up to a year. You choose how long you have to play as many cards as you possibly can. And they basically just have little prompts on them. Some of them are like, you can steal your spouse's food. Other ones are like, you have to come do an activity of my choosing for an hour. Some could be, I get to pick your outfit for the day. Or ones that read that you only have 10 minutes to get ready. So it's just, again, things to kind of be spontaneous. When in doubt, get outside. Obviously, there's a lot of hikes, playgrounds, lakes, ponds, picnic areas, etc. that you haven't experienced that cost next to nothing. So that is always a home run. I wanted to leave you with one final thought from Winnie the Pooh. It says, sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in your heart. Now, I find that to be true about our children, and I also find it to be true about the things that we do with them, those memories that we are able to create with them. That's it for now.